300 SEF. I've only ridden here once before. Four-wheel drive, wide bit. A little bit of single track. Hey, all wide and wobbly. Back to the car park. Now I've got a new bike at the moment, so we've got a Sherco 300 SEF, so it's 4-stroke 300. Young Kiwi bloke Hamish McDonald's been doing very well in the GP in Duros before he hurt himself. Now for me the 4-stroke, what I anticipate is it'll be a little bit better than the 2-stroke on double track fire trails. This is my opinion, of course. 4-stroke has a broader power band and it's a more consistent power band as well. I've really enjoyed the 300 SE Sherco, and I still have that as well. So the advantage for me with the 4-stroke is that you're going to it's going to be easier to ride from town to town. All dirt bikes in Australia must be fully registered. The only time you can use an unregistered bike is on private land or at a motocross track or something like that. Even for things like the Australian 4-day enduro, most of them would have to have a temporary registration at least to enter those events. So following Don, so Don's over 70, he organises these Wednesday rides that I try to take part in every week. We're running the full cornerman system here, so what happens is the leader waits until somebody comes behind him, and then the leader would direct the person to be on a corner or an intersection or something like that. So what you do is you point your bike in the direction you like everyone to travel. Everybody runs through, and then the sweep or the tail in Charlie rider will come up, and then as soon as you see them, then they'll either leapfrog you or they'll stay right at the back. And we've got a new rider, so he's a young roofer. We're all blue collar workers on this Wednesday ride, so there might be some swearing. I apologise for that. and of course we're in Australia as well. You good, Lee?
Yeah, mate, I'm good.
I hate tractors. So I walked the back wheel into that hole then, ran the front wheel around it. On the clutch a little bit. Now I've ridden it this morning, and I didn't find that it planed out too much yet. Thanks for I was thinking so in dog terms it's a bar, so it doesn't have an Alsatian bar or a German Shepherd. But it has sort of a Kelpie sort of bar. Ah, stalled. Not a four-wheel drive Willow. Just where we're meant to go. You good, Gregor? I saw him. You can see I've just stalled there, so this bit of single track's particularly nasty. I don't really like, I don't enjoy riding very much. Quite tight. That's not usually a problem, but it doesn't have much flow in my opinion. But happy to ride anything as well. We also traverse across, which is good and bad. A lot of sort of 180 degree corners, then across 180 degree corners. The ground is sort of a sand base or a sandstone base out here, so it breaks up quite well, so we end up with a fair few ruts. All the bumps and the lumps in the track are from the skidders, so it's been harvested before, and they make quite a good mess on the ground when they're chopping the logs down. It's a little bit ironic really, they won't let us into some of these places because they think we do erosion, and they come and clear cut the whole thing. Bizarre, eh? Anyway, so this is the first day that I've had the bike, so I'm still coming to terms with it. Now the bike in the 300 two-stroke Sherco, and the mousse in that is very well worn. Sort of needed to be replaced a couple of weeks ago, but I was still running it. So I'm not sure whether the front is deflecting a little bit more because of the new mousse in the front of the bike and a new tyre, so maybe it's hooking up a little bit better than the worn tyre, worn mousse combination. And as well, the forks in the other bike are a year old now, so quite well bedded in. My maintenance regime is definitely not on point, so of course the oil hasn't been changed in the forks at all on the old bike. The bike still feels quite good, very similar to the other bike in the terms of the way it handles. I haven't tested the fork clickers nor the sag. The bike shop where I got this bike from is a new bike shop for me, so I'm not sure of their exact diligence either. They maintain that they adjusted the forks and the shock to the comfort setting, which is what I run the other bike at, and they said they set the sag for 75 kilos, which might be a little bit light for me with gear, seeing I'm aging now and probably less fit than I have been in the past, and probably carrying more fat and less muscle. But having said that, the bike still felt quite good. Now the 4-stroke doesn't quite have the initial punch off the bottom that the 2-stroke does, so for simple things like lofting the wheel and you know, changing the weight bias of the bike from front to rear, at this stage is easier on the 2-stroke. So if I want to lift something up or unweight the front to travel across something, then the 2-stroke at this stage definitely is easier on that. I think numerically the 4-stroke is actually lighter than the 2-stroke. I'm not sure how they've managed to achieve that, but and I have not put them on scales, so I don't know exactly how accurate that is, but I believe that to be the case. When we just have some just the bike sounds rather than me talking at you, you can hear it sort of gets a sort of a deeper sound, and that must be the point where the power and the torque come together, and that would be where the bike would produce the most forward momentum, and from that point on the bike really starts to hustle. If I can get it to the end of the rev range in whatever gear I'm in, then I have no doubt that this bike will be travelling very fast at that point. I mentioned earlier that there's a young Kiwi guy that's riding for Sherco in Europe, and he's managed to win, if not some single day events, I think he won an overall as well on this bike. And if you type into YouTube Hamish McDonald and watch the way he's riding it, he's getting some serious speed out of this bike as well. Now here I'd be able to lift the 2-stroke out of that rut a little bit easier, or I could have ground along that rut at this stage a little bit easier. That is the 3rd time I've stalled it so far today on this ride. So yes, I could nearly guarantee the 4-stroke will flame out a little more than the 2-stroke. Plenty of ruts, plenty of holes, plenty of rough ground, so this track is quite rough and reasonably hard to ride. So I might just let you listen to it for a little minute and see how we go. That's more correct position.
bike's going? Everything all right?
What's going on here?
I was in the mud.
Which one?
The one just back there. Fucking into my pegs and stopped.
Oh yeah, Donnie did that. Yeah.
Had to have someone fucking.
Cleared it out for you because I went through it fine.
Yeah.
But the back
Oh,
wheel
might be
was
a bit
spinning.
higher. Yeah.
She was spinning.
Because I saw Donnie go in and went deep, and I just went to the right of it and went straight round him, because he just went, ugh.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll have to come and give me a lift. So we had to lift it.
Who's sweeping?
Uh,
From the Honda.
Honda.
Greg's worker bloke.
Yep.
Is that him?
Yep.
Righto.
We're all here.
We'll be here.
How'd you go on that?
Yeah, I need to play with the suspension. It just fucking.
It's like a nasty tough, that shit.
Yep.
Normally we're quite gentlemanly in the way we ride. We've got the boys throwing some mud on each other. Someone got stuck in that gully. Like I said, we've had a lot of rain in Eastern Australia the last couple of months, so everything's pretty waterlogged. Mark just got a new Sherco 300 4-stroke as well, so just follow him and just show you. One, the track's quite rough, and just get you an idea of how much the bike's moving, maybe the sound between both of them as well. Thanks, hope you enjoyed it. I'll do another one hopefully where we go between the 300 2-stroke and the 300 4-stroke and just try to highlight the differences between the two. You can see that we've got some ruts and holes, and it's quite rough where we're riding here, so it might be different with the suspension bedded in and the moose worn down a little bit. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoy it. Give me a comment of something you'd like to see in the future or something you think I could do better. Thank you, bye.